I'm working with the Access 2007 New Perspectives textbook. I'm on page AC20, and I have been asked to copy additional records from another database, from another table in another database, into an existing table. Now the book has you close your current database, open the database that contains the records that you want to copy them, close that database, reopen your target database, and then paste in the records. They ask you to do that because you can only have one instance of a database open inside Access at one time. Now what I like to do is I like to have two instances of Access open so that I can compare the tables in both of my databases to make sure that the data matches. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to open up the database that contains the records that I want to copy into my Belmont database. I have that ready to go here, so I'm just going to go into my student data, and I'm going to go into the tutorial, and I'm told in step 6 on page AC20 to open the ORAN database. I'll open that here and bring it out here in the middle of the window where we can see it. I don't really need to do the security alert. It's just a habit. There's nothing in this database that requires that I enable the macros. Now the databases or the records that I want to copy are in the agreement table. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tile these two databases side by side on my screen so that I can see both of them. In order to tile just those two, I'm going to make sure that I either close or minimize my computer window. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. I'm going to come down to my taskbar. I'm going to right click on the taskbar, and I'm going to choose Show Windows Side by Side. Now what it does, it's going to take the active window and it's going to put it on the left hand side. So if you prefer to have the destination on the left hand side, you can click it to make it the active. Come down to your taskbar, right click again and choose Show Windows Side by Side. Now it's going to move the active database, the one that you just selected, to the left hand side. Now what I want to do here is I want to look to see that it says contract number, customer ID, contract amount, signing date, and then I have contract type here, and I have contract type over here. And so I want to make sure that the fields are the same fields in the same order, so that when I copy, first I'll click the Select All icon that is in the upper left-hand corner. It's at the intersection of the columns and the rows, and I'll go to, oops, wrong place there. I'm going to go to Copy. I want to make sure they're in the same order and contain the same data. Now I'm going to click back on my destination database to make it active. I'm going to come down in the selection row until I'm in the first empty row at the bottom of my data. I'm going to move my mouse pointer out into the selection row until it's a black arrow pointing back at my data. At the row, I'm going to click, and then I'm going to come up to Clipboard and I'm going to click Paste. If I do this correctly, I will paste in all 55 records. You can see right here it says 55 into this table, and I will have no paste errors table that appears in my destination database. So I'll say yes. I'm going to open my navigation bar there, and you can see I have no paste errors table. If I had a paste errors table there, it would mean that something had gone wrong, and what I would want to do is I'd want to undo that paste, and I would want to examine that paste errors table to find out what the problem is. I'd want to take my two tables and I would move them into Design View, and I would look at both of them more carefully in Design View to make sure. This is just asking me if I want to keep that data I copied, and I'm going to say no. I'd look at these more carefully to make sure that the data types actually match up. That is the end of this segment.